A wild Azreow has appeared! Hey guys, I am back for another video. It's been 3 weeks, I think, or more since I made a video in my squeaky chair, which I may switch out here soon. My hair is a mess, it's getting longer, quarantine is killing me, but you know, it is what it is. But hey, let's jump into what we got to talk about today. So, a lot has happened since we last had a video, and one of the major things that has happened is there was the Xbox gameplay reveal, there was the PlayStation 5 State of Play that had Ghost of Tsushima, and there was the Unreal Engine 5 reveal. I want to talk a little bit about all of these, but first, thank you guys for all the views I am getting on my PlayStation 5 SSD video, which I will link in the card up above, and you can go watch that. That video is getting a lot of views. I have no idea why. I don't know what I did to get that video to be popular, but you can best believe I'm going to talk about SSDs in this video and label my video the same because I want to grow. But it was a little disheartening as my viewership fell right off right after that second video. I don't know how my videos are doing as well as they are. Honestly, didn't expect any views. But anyway, let's jump into it. So, first things first, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I don't even care if you like the video or not. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Ring the bell. Make sure that you have notifications when the videos come out. I'm going to start trying to be more frequent. So, let's jump into... Let's do the order of things here. I think the next thing we need to talk about is the Xbox gameplay reveal. The only gameplay that we really saw was the first game that they showed. And they... everything else was not as much gameplay or from a player's perspective. So there was a lot of anger around that gameplay review. People were really mad. And I'll put a screenshot right here if I can of the dislike to like ratio on the original video. It's even worse now. I haven't looked it up yet in a minute. But we'll go to Xbox gameplay reveal. We will go to... First look at Xbox Series X gameplay. Ooh, that was a little loud. Right now it is sitting at 35,000 dislikes, 26,000 likes. People were not happy. I understand why. The Xbox Series X didn't look any better with what we saw than the current generation. At least that's what most people thought. Now, I tried to make a video on this last week. My daughter interrupted me a bunch of times. I sounded just hateful and angry, and I didn't want to do a video like that. I was just trying to explain something, which... After the Unreal Engine 5 reveal, which we'll talk about next, I'm kind of mad at myself I didn't finish the video because I specifically wanted to talk about something that no one else I felt like was talking about in the Xbox reveal. We've seen videos on why the games look similar to what they already do. I think that's a good, important topic to talk about, but the main thing is it all comes down to the artists and the rendering of the items. When you create an item in ZBrush or Blender or 3D modeling program, you create a high fidelity, like movie quality image, and then once you're finished with the model, you take it and you make it as many flat, large surfaces as possible. So if it has a bunch of really like a box, we'll just say like here's my Kingdom Hearts 3 Special Edition because I'm a nerd. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. It has 6 sides. It's a cube, but it's elongated, right? So it's a box, right? It has 6 sides. And in the video game world, this is a mesh that's 6-sided mesh. And that's it. It's very simple to render. But if I were rendering something like, let's say, this mouse that has curves to it. This is a mouse I'm not using, but it has curves to it. It's got all sorts of like little things on it. It's got this slope to it. This isn't a flat edge. This slope right here. It's not a flat edge. So if you wanted to render this, you would actually take it and like go into it as far as you feel like was possible without losing the visual effect, and you would make it flat surfaces. And instead of having this nice smooth curve that you built, you would then make it into a much flatter object, and then you would use textures, or basically pictures that you stick on the side, like stickers almost, but in a game engine, and you would make it look like the original item that you had, and trying to give it the depth that you were looking for. So that all comes down to how artists make models for video games and how the game engines render them. I was going to say something about engines aren't optimized for next gen yet. So, I wish I had made the video because I talked about models in games and next gen engines that you create the games in. And lo and behold, right after that, Unreal Engine comes out with a video showing something called, they had Lumen, and Lumen was the lighting, and Nanite, I think, or Nanite. Nanite. Yeah, Nanite, I think. Yeah, Nanite. Nanite is a website. If you install your operating system on your computer, you can go download a whole bunch of apps at once. Pretty useful if you're reinstalling your OS. But anyway, Nanite is the system that takes complex geometry and in real time sticks it down. So you can take those high quality assets, and instead of wasting time in Blender and making flat surfaces and then dealing with a bunch of textures, you basically say, I'm making this thing one time. I don't have to make it 5 times with different levels of detail or LODs. I make it one time, I stick it in the engine, and the engine does all the work for me. Boom. Boom shakalaka, I'm done. Wow. That incredibly enhances the workflow for artists and developers. That is awesome. And people that don't understand, they're just going, triangles. That's hilarious. I get it. The triangle thing is absolutely hysterical. But it's how GPUs render objects, right? And it's important. It's very important. Now, I am going to be fair. Like, I know I'm a Sony fan, and I'll readily admit that. I won't lie about it like some other YouTubers that are Xbox fans that try to lie about being an Xbox fan. But, you know, there was these absolutely terrible articles that came out after that, talking about PC gaming is already ahead of that, blah blah blah, all this stuff. Okay, all I want to say is this demo will most assuredly work on the Xbox Series X. It's still more gameplay than we saw in the Xbox gameplay reveal. More PS5 gameplay. So if you're not hyped for the PS5 or the Xbox Series X yet, you should be. It's going to be incredible. But the games are going to look incredibly similar. Why? It comes down to art assets. There is so much power in these consoles that the difference is going to be minute. And that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. It's going to come down to games. And Unreal Engine 5 shows that. Now, there might be some ray tracing that's better on the Xbox Series X, I will give you that. But this global illumination that they showed off was, or Lumen, was part of the engine, and it was not a they said it was not hardware accelerated ray tracing. In other words, it's not specifically hardware. And there is a video done by Innocence, and I'm going to link his video in the description. Go watch it. He talks about this, but he talks about the hardware accelerated ray tracing. But let's be very clear. This is really cool tech. And if you're not excited by it, that means you probably didn't understand what was happening. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with not understanding all this stuff behind the scenes. This was definitely some stuff for people that are into game development, which I'll get back to that in just a second, because I want to come back to that. The last thing is the Ghost of Tsushima State of Play was really cool. I'm still really excited about Ghost of Tsushima. It looks really cool, but it looks like a very slow game, and that's fine. I'm with Sucker Punch though, because I love the Infamous games. I platinumed Infamous 2 and Infamous Second Son. I never got around to platinuming the first one because it's just a little boring. It was a very, very repetitive game. But before I do anything else, I do want to say this. I'm going to try to be more frequent about uploading videos. I'm very sorry I took like a 3-week hiatus and I just started YouTube. I'm dumb. But the reason for that is that I have been debating on what I want to do with my free time other than YouTube. And one thing I've been doing over the last year or so is I've been learning game development. Now, I started in Unity. I went to a game jam after 3 months of learning Unity, and I did a little 2D thing. And then a couple weeks ago, I bought Darksiders 2 on the Switch, which I own Darksiders 2 on the PS3, the PS4, PC. Like, I love that game. I love the Darksiders series. Darksiders 3 kind of sucked. But while I was playing it, I was like, man, I really want to get back into game dev. I would love to make an action adventure game like this again. And then the the Unreal Engine 5 demo came out, and yep, I'm not gonna lie, I had an Unreal course on Udemy that I hadn't even opened up yet, and I finally said, you know what? Time to open this bad boy up and start learning. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm learning Unreal. So some of my videos coming up will be specifically about my progress in learning game development. I already do some development as far as coding goes. I already know some languages. JavaScript is kind of where I primarily live because my background is as a front-end developer. But I took learning Unity because where I currently am employed, I wanted to become a .NET developer, which is not a big deal. It's a C#, and that's Microsoft's specific language. I already knew some Java, so C# wasn't hard to pick up on. But that was one of the reasons I was using Unity, was because I wanted to get used to C#. But I love C++. I've always loved C++. And now I'm thinking that Unreal looks so good, and I really want to get into C++ development again. So, Unreal Engine, here I come. So, the one thing I really suck at is art. I used to love drawing when I was a kid, but I haven't done it in a long time, and digital art is hard, so making my own assets can be difficult. But you will see some videos from me that are related to game development. So when I talk about things like SSDs and the developer tools, it's going to come from a place of experiment and first-hand experience, and not just a place of another guy on YouTube reviewing what somebody else is doing. I want to know the tools that I'm talking about. I want to know about the things I talk about, which is why I game, and is also why I talk about games. I love gaming, and I love talking about gaming. I just love talking. Maybe I'm a terrible person, but just like everyone else, whether they admit it or not, I like the sound of my own voice. So I talk about video games, and I hope that you enjoy what I talk about. And now I'm rambling, so I'm gonna let you guys go. But if you guys have any questions for me, hit me up in the comment section. If you have thoughts about the SSD, there's some things I still want to talk about without the SSD. The PlayStation 5 SSD is what made that demo in Unreal Engine 5 possible in a lot of ways. And streaming in assets from the SSD, whether on Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5, is going to be very, very important for the next generation of games. That was a mouthful. But when it comes to raw performance, GPU on Xbox Series X is better. We know that raw performance of the CPU and GPU is better on the Xbox Series X. But we know that there is only about a 13% difference. Not 20 as some of the 20% as some of the Xbox fanboys are going to say, but it's about 13%. 13 to 15%, okay? But we know that the SSD on the PS5 is 100% better than the Xbox Series X. Like, it's twice as good. It's a 100% uplift. So I want to get back to that and talk about that some more. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for cleaning crap in the background. This right. I can't do this thing. I suck at this. There we go. Right there, pointing. There's some whatever. So yeah, I've got to clean up my room and stuff. I'm gonna try to do it before my wife gets home. Doubt it'll happen though. I gotta edit this. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I promise I'm done rambling now. So please like, subscribe, comment down below. I will be in the comments talking to you guys. If you guys have questions about anything that I'm talking about, let me know. If there's anything you'd like me to cover, topic suggestions are always great. I'm gonna probably go a little more into detail on what I thought of the Xbox Series X gameplay reveal soon, and a little more of the SSD stuff. And then I obviously still want to talk about games. I haven't talked about games for next gen, so I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and peace.